So, I've spent the last few days in bed since my start of this, and now Noah's got my camera, and we're trying to organize from the beginning. I'm seeing so many different doctors that I was trying to get infectious to infectious, kidney stuff to kidney, but it's all so related. Like, it's impossible for me to do that because, as I was trying to explain and throughout after posting that video, it doesn't stop. Like, when I respond to people whose children have been sick and I keep saying don't go on prednisone, don't go on all these immunosuppressants, it makes everything worse. I know that they've been posting signs in Martin County that if you're immunosuppressed or pregnant or a senior citizen, not to go anywhere near the water. And prednisone breaks your entire body down. Methotrexate does. Sells any of these immunosuppressants to get the inflammation down. It's not worth it. There's other things to take, but I'm in so much pain right now. Like, my whole body hurts. My muscles hurt. My bones hurt. I don't think anyone should have to go through this, and the only way that I keep saying it, the only way is to make this stop because it doesn't go away on its own. No one at my age or any age should have to go through this. There's just so many medical records, and it's impossible to separate it because it's all connected. And just, I know it's a lot, but a doctor needs to care. Someone needs to care about what's happening to us, because when you have stacks like this, and no one wants to look through it all, but I can't separate it because it is all related. None of this started before we moved to Florida, and I haven't been able to get out of bed. Like, I just feel so sick. And I'm 2,400 miles away from that water, but I know it's from it. I mean, this is how I felt in the beginning, just in so much pain and nauseous and pain everywhere. My bones and my muscles, my head is killing me. You know, I don't have those symptoms of being right there and breathing it in. My throat isn't sore, my sinuses feel fine. It's what happens once you're exposed to it for so many years, and I feel terrible for Noah, but I slept through having my truck serviced, and I don't feel safe even going by myself tomorrow to this appointment with infectious disease, but I've had friends come to appointments, and I feel like it's important for Noah to be here. I know my family is really against him coming to appointments and being there, but he's my family that's here, you know, and I feel like he's watched it. He's been there through all of it from the time he was a baby. So who better else to come to appointments in Colorado to explain this crisis in Florida? I mean, and he's been sick from it. So I'm gonna just risk taking my truck down there with him. I don't feel safe driving, and we were just going through this, and it's so hard to do, and I'm moaning and groaning and saying how sick I feel, and Noah thought that we should capture that, and what a pain this is. I mean, you know, when a doctor says bring the last couple of years of records, that's why. Like, the last couple of years you can't look at the last couple of years without starting from the beginning. You know? I mean, I just hope that we start getting some answers. The thought of having to drive down to Denver for all these specialists just for again, like the first consult. I mean, that's driving 4 ways for a 40-minute visit and then 4 hours back. And then having to go back down to Denver to do procedures because although I love a lot of my doctors up here, the pathologist is terrible. Terrible. I mean, how do you mess up spinal taps and lymph node biopsies? And it's mind-blowing. And now we're part of UC Health here, but I don't trust them doing any procedures on me up here anymore. This is a resort town. It's a ski town. They know how to deal with already advanced cancers or, bone breaks and tendon tears. I mean, it's ridiculous. So, there's dog hair all over these now.
Oh my.
Anyway, this is still what we have left to go through. It's just mind-blowing to me, and I just want to put out there that, throughout some of the threads on the pages having to do with the water in Florida, I'm somebody who's been going through this for 15 years, and I know that because I went through it, going to doctors and them saying, oh, it's dermatitis or sea lice or allergic reactions to sunscreens. I mean, I see all this stuff and then all these comments and, oh, the prednisone worked. Well, when the prednisone courses are over, it's gonna happen again. And you're gonna keep going through the same thing. Like, you need to be an advocate and demand testing to find out that they, test what the cuts are, test what the rashes are, do scrapings, biopsies, whatever you need to do, because it's not sea lice, and even if it is an infection, it's not going to go away, and going on immunosuppressants is going to make everybody more susceptible to picking these things up, and then they're going to just blame everything on prednisone. Anyway, I guess we're gonna get back to this, and I'll keep you posted as to what happens. I'm hoping some of these doctors will let us record in there, because this is my last go around in this. I can't take it anymore. And when you look through these records and you start piling them by month and year, and what goes on in 1 month. I mean, 1 month. This is 1 month. This is 1 month of infections in Florida. 1 month. I mean, 1 month, and the next month, and the next month. And it doesn't get better, and this is so frustrating, and I love my baby boy so much, and for helping me do this. I know it's painful, but, he's my world, he's my everything, and I didn't want to get out of bed to finish this. I didn't want to go tomorrow to my appointment because it's exhausting and I feel so sick, but, he's my motivation. Come on, Mom, get out of bed, drink coffee, let's go, we have to finish, and he's right, because we deserve to have clean places to live and water that we can not get sick from, and air to breathe that we don't get sick from, and it doesn't go away. It doesn't. I mean, we're in Steamboat Springs, Colorado, and every time I go to the ER, I used to work in the ER here before we moved to Florida, and so I know a lot of the doctors and they know me, and it's like they don't I'm such a complex case that no one knows what to do with me. But in every one of these records, every doctor has said, you know, that it goes back to environmental illnesses that she started with in Florida. And I just hope that this last go around they realize it. I don't know what they'll be able to do because I won't go on immunosuppressants anymore, but just stick with me through this, and I think that we'll get somewhere. I really do, if we can get through the rest of these papers. But this is the side of me that I don't let many people see when I don't feel well. I think I've been asleep for days, and that no one should have to live like that. Nobody.
So much more because the State Farm Agency.
And I hide this part from just about everybody except for my close friends that live here, for my son.
So why not give them the protection they deserve?
I don't like people seeing me sick and vulnerable and in pain, and I feel bad because there's nothing I can do. It's hard to make commitments because I can't follow through. And Noah, I love you and thank you for insisting I follow through with this, because I need to do it for everyone else who's suffering, and for myself and Florida, and for the politicians. Rick Scott, unbelievable. Army Corps of Engineers, unbelievable. CDC, I see people call the CDC. Do you know how many times I've called the CDC, the NIH, the WHO? Half of this is notes. These are all notes on what I've contracted, notes on the bacteria, notes everywhere, because who to call, when I called, it's insane. This is all notes, who I can turn to try to get us help. It's not like I have been just sitting here snowboarding and making a new life in Steamboat. This is just where we came to get away from everything, and I have not stopped. Like I said, they don't care. This is something that they're hiding. They don't care. And I'm going to do everything I can to make the politicians and every government agency care. And I'm lucky enough to have the senator of Colorado care. And, like I said, I have advocates here that care. And they know that this is something that happened in Florida. So I'm going to do we're going to finish this, do this last round, and then have a gnarly few months of appointments of this horrendous drive back and forth. But I'm gonna make this happen, and like I said, with the support of this state who is paying for Florida's negligence, I'm ready to take legal action, and it's gonna happen. And we're trying to get a page together for everybody, but there's we get nasty comments and things like that, and I'm not gonna put up with that. I hope that this page that we get together, I know, there's support from the people that have been working on this for years and years and know the history and have watched me also be sick this long. And if I have to do it alone, I'll do it alone. But I am going through these next appointments, and I am going to take legal action, because this is not acceptable. And it's super unacceptable when it's our children, you know, and I watched my own child and my friends' children, and now I see posts of little kids that go in the water and get sick. I won't allow it to happen, so I'm gonna stop here so we can get back to doing this, and then we will we'll touch base tomorrow with our trip. And I'm not necessarily gonna post all these right away because I do need to edit before I do post things. But thanks for listening. Thank you, Noah, for making me keep moving forward on my path, my journey. It's a stepping stone each way, each thing we do. But we'll keep you posted. See ya.